It's a better day. Talk is cheap, and that's the subject we're going to be talking about today. Talk is cheap. When someone promises and you do not believe that person will ever keep the promise, we say talk is cheap. Governments all around the world make promises and raise the expectations of the voting public before election time. Bosses do it regularly to their workers. I'm going to give you a pay rise. The bitter reality of cheap talk is that you can end up disappointed or broken-hearted as your family waits for the raise that didn't come, or the community waits for roads that were never built, or the sweet, cheap, romantic talk of the person you fell in love with. It just vanishes as the person walks into the future. Talk is cheap. Empty promises. Interesting that those making the promises make many persuasive arguments and use very compelling words to do so. And then they use many excuses later to explain their non-performance or non-delivery, or why they couldn't deliver on the promises. With the reality of social media and our smartphones and tablets, most of us have become very talkative, or should I say, texative. Laugh out loud. It seems that we want everyone to know what's cooking in our lives. Sometimes we talk for the sake of talking. In that flow, we speak loosely. In some situations, the price of cheap talk can be very high, which we find out many months later. Very relevant to our topic, talk is cheap. The Bible in the book of Ecclesiastes has an interesting bit of advice. It says, "Don't let your mouth get you into trouble. And don't you say, 'I didn't mean what I said.'" That's the quotation. May it never be that people say of you as you leave a conversation, "Ah, just cheap talk." Socially, most conversations are casual and rambling. There's a time and a place for everything. We meet twice a week here as a community at Joel's place, as we sit in the spiritual lounge and consider topics that are very important to your present and to your future. Your direct experience, your understanding and conscience will guide you to use the ideas and information from Joel's place to develop as an individual and to have meaning in your life. If in any small or big way your mind, your beliefs, or your behavior change as a result of the spiritual lounge at Joel's place, then our talk is not cheap. It adds real value to your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Have you ever used or heard the expression, "You can believe me when I say I'll help you. My word is my bond"? Can people trust you because you are the kind of person who, just by giving your word, the listeners know that the promise will be kept? Whether it's a promise you make or a boast you say you'll support with evidence, listeners remember, and over time they quietly judge the real kind of person you are. Talk is cheap. Thank you for listening. Please like this video and share it and subscribe, rate and comment. Until the next time, this is Joel's Place in the Spiritual Lounge. Thank you.